Hello everyone and welcome to Superman Homepage Live, the live Superman show brought to you by supermanhomepage.com. My name is Steve Eunice. In this, our July 4th, happy July 4th episode of Superman Homepage Live, we're going to be covering a range of topics, including the Season 2 finale of Superman and Lois. So we're going to be going through that in detail. We're going to be looking at the trailer for the Batman and Superman Battle of the Super Sons animated movie. We're going to be talking comic books, your favourite episode of The Adventures of Superman TV series, and so much more. We're also going to turn to you for any questions and comments you might have about the Man of Steel, and to let you know how all that works and how you can get involved in tonight's show. He's standing by very patiently, my good friend and co-host, Michael Bailey. Hey, Mike.
Hey, Steve. How's it going?
Doing well yourself?
Can't complain yet. It was a hot day as usual, but not a bad one. We've got a lot of fun stuff to talk about. I'm a little sad that there's no more Superman and Lois until next year, but that was a really great season finale. But they'll hear about that in a second, because this is Superman Homepage Live. And I appreciate that you got tripped up with that a little bit, because on my show, It All Comes Back to Superman, I always have to stop myself from saying welcome back to It All Comes Back to Superman, because I think that sounds bad. So I know how you feel on there. But anyways, yes, Superman Homepage Live is all about Superman, and because of that, we want to hear from the people that are watching us live right now. And there was a super easy way to do that. There's no more Skype. There's no more calling us. We'll call you, whatever. You just go to supermanhomepage.com/live and press the call now button, and that'll put you in the green room. Or if you got one of your fancy phone things, you can scan that QR code that's on the screen, and you'll be in the waiting room. And about halfway through the show, and if we don't have much to talk about, we'll take you and have you on the show.
Yes, exactly. And if you don't want to be on camera or talk to us live on the show, then you can participate in the comments right there on YouTube. Everyone who is watching us live can chat, talk to each other, talk to us. Michael and I will keep an eye on those comments and react to them as the show goes on. And if you would like your comment or question featured on the screen during the show, that's called a super chat. All you have to do is click the dollar symbol there on YouTube. A slider will appear on your screen. You decide on the dollar amount you're willing to donate. We will feature your comment or question on the screen live as we go to air. And thank you to our sponsors and patrons, Douglas Meacham, John Patrick Van Pelt, and Tina Murray. Justin saying, man flu last week was funny. Are you in the clear now, Steve? Yes, thank you, Justin. I am feeling heaps better, sounding heaps better, and thankfully just a little bit of a niggle of a cough, but I've just had lunch, so it's probably just a bit of indigestion. Leftover pizza will do that to me.
Apparently, JP Rocha is at a Chicago White Sox game, but is checking in anyways.
Oh, nice. Very cool. That is very cool. And yes, to all our friends in the US, happy July 4th, Independence Day, 4th of July, whatever way you want to call it. A holiday there for you guys. Obviously, celebrating your independence. And although some of your independence is kind of getting stripped away from you a little bit from what I'm hearing. But don't want to get into politically motivated things. Just a little bit.
Just a little bit, yeah. So,
but
yeah. And Mind the Gap is right. The worst thing about it is that if my dogs start barking, it's because my idiot neighbors are setting off fireworks. And I will refer to any of them as idiot neighbors. These people they use any holiday as an excuse to light up fireworks, and our dogs just hate it.
So there's the fireworks going off in the background. They're the silent ones for you, Michael.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
So obviously, yes, happy 4th of July for you guys. We appreciate that you are spending your 4th of July with us. For us Australians, Justin and I, who are obviously not celebrating Independence Day, and it's 5th of July here, because obviously it's not an Australian holiday. We are happy for you guys and wish you all the best. And again, thank you for spending your 4th of July evening with us here on Superman Homepage Live. So let's get into it. We'll discuss the Superman and Lois Season 2 finale in a second. But I did want to start with movie news, as we like to do here on the show. And to start with, there's a new trailer, or a trailer, for the Batman and Superman Battle of the Super Sons animated movie. You can see the behind me is the actual image for the artwork of the DVD and Blu-ray. There's the 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray and digital packaging, and there is the Blu-ray and digital code one as well. Same cover, same illustration, and this is the very first CG animated film of a DC property, and here is the trailer for this upcoming animated film, Batman and Superman, Battle of the Super Sons.
This is the...
Welcome to the Batcave.
That's the Batmobile and the Batcomputer. Who's the new kid?
John, this is Batman's son, Damian.
Ow! Well, he's obviously not invulnerable.
Reminds me of us when we first met.
I was nicer.
What are you doing here? Aliens are taking over the globe.
There is nothing you can do to stop it. It is time. It is time. It is time. It is time. It is time.
Come on, farm boy. We gotta go save our dads. All right, Justice Dweebs. Let's do this thing.
There you have it, Battle of the Super Sons, upcoming animated film, out on Blu-ray and DVD on October 18th. What'd you make of it?
I like it. I like how it looks. I enjoyed the Super Sons comic when I was reading it. So it's kind of nice that they've really just captured the feel of that, and up to and including Damian being a jerk when they first meet. I like the design of it. The CGI, it's interesting because it doesn't look like what you think of as like CGI, but you can tell in certain way, like when they show like the vehicles and stuff, that's like very CGI. But the characters themselves look great.
Yeah, it's a great animation style and design. Yeah, when they do like the 3D pan around the Batmobile and the Batcave, you can tell they're computer generated, but the characters themselves look pretty clean and crisp. And Justin mentioning the Starros coming out of the mouths is pretty graphic. They usually just kind of fall in the faces of their victims, and a bit like a face hugger of the alien kind. But it's an interesting. I don't know how they got inside them, but they obviously got infected, maybe through the water, something they ate. Who knows?
Yeah, well, this is why you need to wear a mask, people, because if it is airborne, that's how you stop it.
Yes, so that's right. Very good. Battle of the Super Sons out on Blu-ray, 4K, Ultra HD, all that stuff, and digital on October 18th. It is a 79-minute running film. It is PG-13 rated, and it looks like it'll have some bonus material as well. There's rival sons, Jonathan and Damian, new featurette, and that's probably going to look a little bit at the comic book side of things and in the history of these two characters and where they've teamed up before.
Yep. No, I'm glad they're doing it. Those two characters, I think, have a really broad appeal, especially towards like a YA crowd. Because they're both two pretty fleshed out characters, and it's nothing against what they're doing in the comics right now, because Tom Taylor is no slouch, but there's something about those kids being like 10, 11 years old that makes them just, I don't know, I think you could just grab a younger audience with that, which is what they need.
Do you have a problem like some people in the comments about Batman's name being first on the title?
Yes and no.
Yeah.
Yes, but I've long since not. It's just how it is. So if I'm I'm really trying to put into focus things that I'm going to get mad about these days.
Not the hill you want to die on.
Yeah, and it's just like I will 100% like die. There are hills that I will die on. I will die on the hill that Grease 2 is a better movie and musical than Grease 1. But this is not a hill I'm going to die on.
No.
Because it's just marketing. Batman is their flagship character right now.
Yeah.
I am sure there were Batman fans through the 70s and 80s up until the 1989 film that were annoyed that Superman was always first. So it's just how it is until Superman can get as or more popular than Batman, which I don't foresee anytime soon.
No, that's right.
It's just not going to happen.
Yep, it's not going to happen. So it is what it is, and yes, B is before S, as Justin says, alphabetically. It makes sense if you want to go there as a excuse. All right, so that's Battle of the Super Sons out October 18th. Now, still on the movie side of things, and just hold your water there, John, with the Superman and Lois questions. We will get to Superman and Lois in a second. Don't want to be able to scroll too far beyond those. So just in your comments, just hold on there with the questions. Dwayne Johnson, who voices the role of Krypto, the Superdog in the upcoming animated movie DC League of Super Pets. We're less than a month away from that being on the big screen there in the US and Canada. He has promoted an upcoming video game that is out for the movie. Here is the little video about that.
Check this very cool kids video game out. Not only do you get to play as Krypto and Ace to take on Lex Luthor and his Lexbot army, but you also get useful power-ups from PB, Merton, and Chip, and also help save Metropolis's strays from being abducted and find new compatible homes for them. Enjoy.
So there you have it. What's wrong?
They're having you fly through rings.
I know.
No, it looks like a lot of fun. I probably won't pick it up at full price, but when the price drops on that might be a fun game to play.
Yeah, it's
coming out for the PS4.
That's right. It's out July 15th. I think some people. John was saying that he ordered it already. I'm not sure if he's actually got it in hand or not yet, but it's out, as he said, for the PlayStation 4, Xbox Series X, and Nintendo Switch. It's called DC League of Super Pets, The Adventures of Krypto. And the video game is available for PC as well as all those other consoles, as I mentioned. So, yes, make sure you get out there and purchase it if that's something you're interested in. Speaking of DC League of Super Pets, as I mentioned, it's out in theaters July 29th there in the US, Canada, and other locations. Sadly, not till September here in Australia. But there is a sweepstakes thing going on. Show Us Your Pets is the name of the sweepstakes, and the competition, if you like, the contest is out for now. It closes July 13th, so you've got to be quick. You can head to our website for the link, but all you have to do is show the world how super your pet is on TikTok, Instagram, and or Twitter by using the hashtag DC Super Pets Sweepstakes for a chance to win a screening of the movie near your hometown. So no purchases necessarily. See the official rules, but that's all you simply have to do. Hashtag DC Super Pets Sweepstakes. Show a photo of your pet. So, Michael, that might be something you can do. Your pets are always getting in on the act here on this show.
Yeah, they're very popular. So I can get them to sit still long enough to get a good video about them.
Now,
that's the trick.
That's the trick. And if you can't, then what you can do is take a photo of them and do this, Michael. This might be something. Yep, just dress them up, do a little photo thing that you can there on your phone with the new, what are they called, the little sticker things that you can do with the Twitter and Instagram and all that kind of stuff. Hashtag DC Super Pets, and share your Super Pet photos, stickers. Download your image, and then share your pet photo with, as I said, hashtag DC Super Pets across all social networks. A little bit of fun there.
Yeah.
Nelson as Mr. Sniffer is on the graphic. Okay, so that's DC League of Super Pets, and we will look forward to seeing that in theatres, as I said, July 29th. And if you're looking to get into the movies and you want to see Superman the movie on the big screen once more, you can do that in Alamo Drafthouse theatres all across the US, with places in Texas, Minnesota, Colorado, Nebraska, Missouri, Los Angeles, New York, all those places. If you've got an Alamo Drafthouse near you, you will be able to see Superman the movie on the big screen between July 29th and August 4th at different locations. Check your local Alamo Drafthouse to see if they have a screening of Superman the movie near you. That'll be pretty cool. I don't know why they're doing it, but
I don't have one near me.
No? Okay.
No, unless they built one, and
Yeah.
I just missed lots. I mean, Atlanta's a big city, so.
So there you have it. So that's Superman the movie on a big screen near you. Now, speaking of the Christopher Reeve films, there is an auction currently taking place through Julian's Auctions for a screen-worn cape of Superman from Superman 3. So Christopher Reeve's cape, as seen in the movie Superman 3, the costume there available on auction at Julian's Auction. It is expected to sell for between $20,000 and $40,000, and is ending on July 18th. So if you've got that kind of cash floating around and you want a Christopher Reeve walking cape from Superman 3, then Julian's Auctions is the place to go.
Woohoo.
A lot of interest in this. This was probably our most popular news item of the week as far as retweets go on Twitter. Everyone was wrapped and commenting on how great the cape looked, and how the S has to be on the back of the cape, and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like it's in
great condition. You got to say super.
Good condition.
So Julian's Auctions. All right, without any further ado, the season 2 finale of Superman and Lois aired on June 28th? Yes, Jesus, already a week ago. And you gave this episode a 5 out of 5, saying that overall you were satisfied and enjoyed this final episode of season 2. I had some issues. I did a video kind of review thing of my own, and I'll go through those little things that kind of took me out of the episode. But what was the best thing about this episode for you?
Really, it was Superman powering up.
Yeah.
And just that entire sequence of him in the sun, thinking of his family, coming out, flying over everybody, and everyone being like super excited that it's like Dad, Clark, Superman, and him defeating Allie, and then flying around the world Chris Reeve style, and then landing in that kind of like slow motion with the fire all around him. I mean, it was just an incredible sequence. Probably some of the best Superman I've seen on screen for the past 20 years, in all honesty. I mean, there have been some really... I mean, there was like him taking on the thing that was terraforming the Earth in Superman and Man of Steel was good. Him going up against Steppenwolf in the Zack Snyder Justice League was good, but this is up there with those.
Yeah, I was really impressed overall by the episode. I thought it was really good. It hit the right beats. It had the right emotional hits. It kind of, the powering up and the whole sequence of him doing that solar punch thing was pretty impressive. And all in all, I was cheering for the episode, and it kind of went well. But there were elements of it that took me out, and I'll go through them. For me, they made a point. He was so weak last week; he couldn't even get up the front porch steps. And then Talro takes him into space, and he's still not powered.
Well, Steve, Kryptonians are just hardier than humans in general. And the sun was giving him the power. I'm just trying to make this.
I know.
Up.
Did that take you out at all? Did you go, how is he surviving in space without powers?
It gave me Superman 4.
Yes, vibes. Yes.
But the thing is that unlike Superman 4, everything else around it was so good.
Yeah.
That
you
kind
it.
of forget it. And it's not like you're wrong. I mean, that was like, are they really talking in space?
Yes, exactly. That was the other thing. They're standing outside or floating outside in the sun, and they're talking to each other. And it's like, there's no air, there's vibrations, there's nothing. You can't carry sound. Exactly. So I know you're super powered beings, and maybe you can hear each other or read lips, but we can hear you. Where's the camera?
I mean, it's the same thing. When you watch Star Wars, you realize there's no explosions in space. As they are, because there's no oxygen to facilitate that fire. You're not wrong, is what I'm going to say. I just let it go because everything else around it was so good that I was just like, okay, I'm just not going to hit this very hard. No,
I'm with you. And if it hadn't been for Superman 4 and the fact that we really poke fun at that film for doing that, I probably wouldn't have been as. But because it's been, this is something that's been done in the past, and it's like a faux pas. It's like, you don't do that. You can't talk in space. You can't breathe in space. And they still went there. And as you said, everything else around it was so good that you kind of forgave it. But for that moment, it kind of took me out of the story, and I went, no, you can't, no. And, that was kind of disappointing for me. I understood that Superman, once he was powered, was flying around the Earths, if you like, trying to gain the speed up to then be able to do what he did. But I still don't understand how impacting the Earths separated, and they didn't really explain what he was trying to do or how that worked. Like, if he was pulling them apart, or if I saw them by his punch separating because of the effort, I would have gone, okay, that makes sense. But all he would have really done was created a big crater.
Yeah, to be fair, the whole merging of the Earth thing has been like, it was woolly just throughout the past few episodes. I mean, it's just like how is she doing that? Like, she doesn't have the amulet, she's just really powerful. So you're just accepting that she's just that powerful and that it's happening. So it was just like, okay, we got to get these things separated, and I really didn't want them to take 5 minutes to explain how they're doing it, or him to get some kind of device. I just assumed that John Henry and Nat detonating the ship with the XK somehow created something that allowed the vibrations to separate the planets, and Superman was just giving it that push. That's my no prize on that.
Like I said, it was such a good sequence that you kind of went, I don't care, it looks great, it looks cool, I'm going with it. So yeah, I didn't, the science behind it didn't really matter too much, but again, I was like, it looks great, but I don't get it. But anyway, Chrissy Beppo finding out the secret. I loved her reaction. It was just like, do I have to sign a secret oath or something? Like, it was just, that was priceless.
Yes, you do, Chrissy, right now.
Yes.
My problem with that was, Chrissy, I don't care that he's only worked at one paper. He worked at one paper for 2 decades. You're the Smallville Gazette. He worked at the Daily Planet.
Exactly. All right, let's go through some of the questions. John Patrick Van Pelt asks a few, and he's has Bruno Mannheim appeared anywhere else other than Superman the Animated Series at this point? Obviously, the comic books.
Yeah, I don't. Was he in the last season of Smallville?
Mannheim.
Because they had a bunch of those Jack Kirby Fourth World type characters floating around.
So I'm not sure if he's appeared in any of the other live action or not, but obviously comic books is where he's the biggest threat.
I mean, to be fair, it's going to start out being Bruno Mannheim, and in the end, it's going to be like Riot or Conduit or somebody. I mean, that's just how they do these things.
And everyone, a lot of
villains.
Yeah.
Villains on Superman and Lois are kind of like Dragon Ball Z. You haven't seen their final form yet.
Exactly.
So.
And a lot of people going, that's the big reveal, Bruno Mannheim and Intergang. And I'm like, yeah, but that's a way into the fourth world. That's,
No, Intergang, like that has so much potential. Intergang was great in the comics. Bruno Mannheim, you're unlocking a lot of stuff with that.
Yeah, exactly.
And because now, and this is something that one of my co-hosts on the Superman and Lois tape pointed out, because it's its own world, all of the villains are on the table again.
Yes. Yep. Exactly.
All of them.
And we'll get to that in a second. We'll talk about that big reveal. Now that Superman got rid of Ali Olsen for good, do you guys think she'll ever show up in a future season of Superman and Lois? Always possible. She's captured there in a cell. Mark Lack saying, Mark, should they have let Ali and her doppelganger share the same cell? That seems a bit risky. What about Bizarro Lois? We never saw her return to the other world. He says, I have a theory on that. I hope isn't true. That was odd.
I she blipped back there.
Yeah, so did I. Because then somebody else says, do you guys think that now that Lois stayed here and our Lois went to the... No, our Lois is still here. And I think it was just that momentary, she's coming here, then, everybody got to blip back to their own world. I don't think there was any hangover. Nobody stayed where they shouldn't be. They all went back to their own world, unless they want to reveal something in season 3 that we don't know about at this point. But I'm pretty sure it was just so that Lois from Bizarro World could see what her real family could have been like and witness that. Because Tal Rowe did stay there, and we might be seeing the adventures of Tal Rowe in Bizarro World at some point, and he's got to find out who his wife is and the fact that it's Lana and all those kind of things.
I totally talked myself out of it too, because that was one of my theories. Was like, well, maybe Tal will go over there. I'm like, no, he wouldn't have any powers, and then he ended up over there.
Yeah.
So, yeah, okay, and I loved him going, "Hello, weird Smallville."
Yeah.
And by the way, those are 2 brand new trucks in the town of Smallville. They're crashed by episode 3 of the next season because it's a truck in Smallville. I mean,
exactly.
It's done.
Yes, it's back to that Geico count from Neil's old Smallville reviews, talking about all the accidents and trucks that got smashed and the insurance. Can Superman really regain his superpowers just by throwing him into the sun? And why not use the Fortress of Solitude like normal? Well, the Fortress, I think, was on the fritz. Yeah. There was no use. It was gone. His mother was, blinked out as she was trying to give him the information what they needed to do. And yes, it has been done in the past where Superman has gone into the sun and powered himself up, or gone close to the sun to power himself up. So there is some precedent for that.
Yeah, and it made for such an awesome shot. So, I mean, I do like. It's like, I think this is what my mother was trying to tell me. Really, Clark? Because you're guessing a lot here.
Yeah, it's a big risk.
But he has the faith. So there you go.
There you go. He has hope. If Bruno Mannheim killed John Henry Irons years ago, who is this person on Superman and Lois for the last 2 years? Well, that's the John Henry Irons from the universe where Lois was killed. I mean, we saw him come across, and same with his daughter. They're from an alternate Earth, and we always knew that there was a John Henry Irons. He was going to be looking for his sister at one point and decided to stay in Smallville because he wanted to connect with family. But yeah, the John Henry Irons of this Earth has been killed by Bruno Mannheim, who's going to be very surprised when he sees a alternate version of John Henry Irons reappear, now that obviously John Diggle is setting him on a path to try to investigate Intergang and Mannheim. That'll be interesting.
Yeah, no, I'm just so looking forward to that. It hits all the right buttons for me.
Yep, indeed. Okay, then we have the relationship with Jordan and Sarah, and her realizing I think she took it pretty well, and I don't know how much that will play into season 3, her knowing now and how their relationship will develop.
Yeah, but it puts them on a good path. I mean, like I said, one of the themes of this season was how, secrets tear people apart, and now, everybody that's quote unquote important has knows what they need to know. So going forward, the thing that was driving them apart won't be there, and it gives Sarah and Jordan like a really honest place to restart their relationship.
Yeah, there was a intergang on Lois and Clark, wasn't there?
Yes, headed by Bill Church.
That's right.
Who's played by, what was that actor's name? Why can't I remember it? He was the dad on Everybody Loves Raymond. He was Frankenstein and Young Frankenstein. Peter Boyle.
Yeah, that's it, Peter Boyle.
And Bruce Campbell played Bill Church Jr. So I don't know why they didn't name him Morgan Edge.
Yeah.
Maybe they just didn't have the rights to that name. It's kind of a weird thing to do, but yeah, that was the brief use of Intergang.
Justin saying, where did Talrow get the money to buy the 2 trucks for the boys? Well, isn't he already well, I know as
Morgan Edge. Yeah, he's got Morgan Edge money hidden everywhere.
Yeah.
I'm telling you right now, that man had plans within plans. So that's where he disappeared to. Is that he had safe houses that he could work from. So
indeed,
I was happy to see him too. I love how he's so confident. Like, I'm gonna go take her out, and then immediately gets smacked down. It's like, okay, new plan.
Yes, exactly. All right, so the big reveal during the episode or towards the end. Sam Lane reveals to his grandsons that Superman is the only superhero on this Earth, that the DoD is aware of other Earths that are out there that have leagues of superheroes, and but this Earth only has Superman, and that's all they need. He's the best of the best, and that's all there is to it. So therefore, it's revealed that this Superman and Lois TV series is not part of the Arrowverse, is not on Earth Prime, if you like. It's Earth of its own. There is no Supergirl, there is no Flash, no Green Arrow as far as we know, although he could have. We know that Diggle says that he had worked with Oliver Queen, but whether Oliver Queen, even if he was Green Arrow, he's not a superhero, he's not a superpowered being, so that could still exist. But I'm happy with this. I'm fine with Superman and Lois being its own thing, being on its own Earth. So Tyler Hoechlin and Elizabeth Tulloch played a version of Superman and Lois that was on Earth Prime. We can call him Belt Buckle Cape Superman if you like. He's still out there. He still exists. He's on that Earth Prime, and this is a different version of those same characters on their own Earth, doing their own thing, and it makes total sense. Okay, we were led to believe that with the boys at the end of the Crisis episode of the crossover that, this was leading into Superman and Lois, where they would have twin sons on this TV series. And maybe back then they intended for it to be part of the same Earth, but always hoping they could keep it separate of some way, shape or form. But so what? Crisis created Superman and Lois on Earth Prime with twin sons. So be it. That's the same thing, but this is a different version of those same characters on a different Earth, and I'm happy with it. I'm happy for them to keep Superman separate from all those other superhero shows.
Yeah, I'm totally, I get where people, some people of goodwill, I would say, that are upset about it. I get why they're upset about it. I totally do, but I'm totally with you. We are simpatico on this, mainly because there is no Arrowverse left.
Yeah, exactly.
There's nothing for it to be a part of. And yes, I know some people were really excited that eventually Supergirl would show up. I hold that could still happen.
Exactly.
And actually, it would be really cool, because this would be this Superman meeting that Kara, and they have a completely different dynamic. So, but for me, it's that the way I look at it is Warner Brothers went through 2 different owners in the time that this show's been on the air. Back in 2020, the whole AT&T thing happened, I believe. That was 2020, right?
Yeah, I think you're right. Yep.
Yeah. And so it starts out with AT&T owning it, and they completely restructure everything, and a bunch of shows get canceled, and then it gets sold again. Todd Helbing, the showrunner, said that originally it was supposed to connect, but eventually they were told by DC Comics that no, you're not. And I agree with you. This show is so much better for it because it allowed it to have its own identity. You didn't have to have it so encumbered by the past. We don't have to ask all these questions like, how does this work in the post-crisis world? And like I alluded to earlier, all the villains now are back on the table. We can have a Lex Luthor.
Yep.
We can have a Toyman. We can have a Silver Banshee that are all separate from what Supergirl did. And that's the best news ever.
And we could also have a version of Supergirl if they wanted to. Crash land, his teenage cousin lands in a pod of her own, and has to be brought in, and it doesn't have to be Melissa Benoist. It can be some other actress, So it could even be the young girl that played Supergirl in the the flashback episodes of Supergirl, if they really wanted to bring in somebody of a familiar face. So I'm happy for it to be its own thing. We can get, as you said, different versions of the characters that people were kept complaining that Supergirl was stealing from Superman's rogues gallery, and have their own spin on it with this cinematic quality that they're able to do with the better costumes and CGI that they're able to do on Superman and Lois, and people still be able to enjoy those versions of the characters. So I'm all for it. I think it's fantastic, and we don't need to see other superheroes jumping in left, right, and center to save Superman, or be part of the save the day moment. It can just be his world, and I'm happy about that.
Yeah, I mean, this episode firmly planted a flag in the ground that Superman is not only the greatest hero of this world, he is the greatest hero no matter what world he's on. And it was just really nice to hear that. It was just like after having a film series where Superman, yes, in Zack Snyder's Justice League, everyone likes Superman, but that's after Batman v Superman, where he got kicked around, and in the first movie where he really wasn't established yet. So it's kind of nice to have a world where he is the greatest hero, and there are probably people afraid of him, but everyone seems to really like him.
They even referenced Miracle Monday. Yes, I was about to say the same thing.
Yeah, and Warner Brothers and DC Comics pay Elliot S. Maggin. That's not yours.
Yes, exactly.
It isn't.
No.
He owns those books. So,
did he complain about it?
No.
Maybe they did. Maybe they did pay
another
him.
creator kind of brought it up because he's not really on social media like Twitter.
No.
But no, it was when I saw that, I was like, wait a second, they didn't pay him? And then I got kind of mad. I'm like, no, that's his.
Maybe they did. We don't know. We don't know the ins and outs of what they do. But so Todd Helbing had this to say in an interview. I'll have to find who it was with, but it was with the Flash podcast, and he said that that they had a conversation, as he said, in season 1 with Superman and Lois, and DC, decided that it's a separate thing. So he said, and unfortunately those other shows aren't on the air anymore, other than the Flash. So there was really no reason for it to be connected to those other shows, and so the fact to keep their show on a different planet and do the best they can is a great idea, and I'm looking forward to that being the case, and we can clear that air and move forward.
Yeah, now we don't have to have people asking, where's Kara?
No, exactly.
Every 5 minutes.
Justin is asking us if we can show our shirts. Well, for you guys today, I put on the Truth, Justice, and the American Way, American flags, Superman shirt, and Michael, you've got...
mine's just Action Comics #1.
Just Action Comics #1, nothing
just
important.
The cover, nothing big, nothing, not like the first appearance.
No, and thank you, John Patrick Van Pelt, for reminding us that HBO Max will be streaming the second season of Superman and Lois from July 29th. So you'll be able to, if you're a HBO Max subscriber, July 29th is the day where you'll be able to watch the whole second season on HBO Max. Although you can already do that on the CW app for free at the moment. So, well, the last couple of episodes anyway. I'm not sure if the whole season is still available, but there you go. So that was Superman and Lois Season 2 done and dusted. We do have to wait for the third season to begin, which will be early 2023. So another 6 months at least until Superman and Lois returns to our screens. But I'm looking forward to Season 3 and cannot wait to see where they go with this now that we know that it is its own thing, living on its own. And we're going to get to see Bruno Mannheim and Intergang and so many different revelations to be enjoyed in Season 3 coming up.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And if you cannot wait till then to see Superman and Lois, the cast, the Kemp family, in at least will be special guests at the Manchester Comic Con in Manchester, England, next month, or actually this month, July 30th is the date. They'll have a Q&A panel scheduled to take place on Saturday, July 30th at 4:45 p.m. The Manchester Comic Con will take place at the BEC Arena in Stretford, Manchester, across July 30th and 31st. So you'll be able to catch up with the cast of Superman and Lois if you're in Manchester, England. There you have it. All right.
The Atlantic Sea.
Yes, we're well over the halfway mark of tonight's show. We do have a caller waiting on the line. Before we get to all that, we're going to play some messages, do our fan favourite segment of the show, and then we'll talk about comic books as well. We'll be back right after these messages. Don't go anywhere.
We'll be back in a moment with the exciting climax of today's episode. So stand by.
If you're enjoying Superman Homepage Live, then please like and share this video with your family and friends. Also, if you'd like to subscribe to our YouTube channel, then you can click on the bell to receive notifications whenever we post a new video. You can also join our YouTube membership program, just click the join button below. Or you can become a patron and support our website by going to patreon.com/supermanhomepage.
Look, up in the sky.
It's a bird.
It's a plane. No, it's SupermanHomepage.com, the #1 Superman fan site in the world. SupermanHomepage.com, covering the world of Superman from the 1930s to today. News, reviews, rumors, and reports. SupermanHomepage.com for all your Superman comics, TV shows, movies, cartoons, radio shows, and more. Everything you ever wanted to know about the Man of Steel and more. SupermanHomepage.com.
Thanks, Superman Homepage, for all the support over the years. I really appreciate it.
I'm Matt Balmer. I'm the voice of Superman and Superman Unbound, and this is the Superman Homepage.
Right here on Superman Homepage.
Holy icicles! In their daily pursuit of justice, our superheroes' characters do battle with the world's most evil villains. Where will the next evil villain come from? Maybe you will create them in Post Superheroes Create a Villain Contest.
Grand prize. 9 kids win a one-week trip to Hollywood. They'll have breakfast with these superheroes.
And the villain they've created.
Second prize, 1,000 win bicycles.
Millions will enter, and everyone who does gets Superheroes puppy stickers.
Details on specially marked boxes of Alphabet, Super Sugar Crisp, Honeycomb, and Pebble cereals. You can draw and paint your villain in the picture provided. 3 different pictures.
Superman, Wonder Woman, Batman and Robin.
3 grand prizes per picture.
The most original villains win.
Holy Hollywood! Post Superheroes Create a Villain Contest. Details on specially marked boxes of Alphabet, Super Sugar Crisp, Honeycomb, and Pebble cereals.
And the superheroes are making a comeback on breakfast cereals at the moment. We mentioned the Cap'n Crunch cereal last week, and they're also now this week, as well, I kind of missed this one, Quaker Instant Oatmeal Gotham City S'mores and Strawberry Banana for the Superman one. And I think on the back of the Batman and the back of the Superman there is Batgirl and Supergirl.
Oh, that's cool.
So if you're... I know you didn't like the other one, the Captain Crunch one, Michael, but maybe instant oatmeal is a bit more down your alley?
Yeah, not during summer, unfortunately, just because it's hot and eating hot breakfast cereal. But during the winter, I really like to eat it. But we have a lot... It's a long story. We have a lot of oatmeal in the house. But I may pick up a box each of those just to have them.
Yeah.
Just because they're neat. I like that they're getting... Because they didn't have Batman on the Captain Crunch one. Just Flash and Superman and Supergirl.
That's right. So there you have it. So if you're interested, Quaker oatmeal. All right.
I am amused. Before we get into it, I am amused that commercial is old enough that it's Sugar Crisp. They changed the name of that to Golden Crisp.
Right. Okay.
But it's still the same cereal. They just don't want to advertise that you're just eating a bowl of sugar.
And well, kids have changed now. I don't think they're worried about colouring in and stickers and things anymore. It's all iPads.
No, not at all.
And TikToks and what have you.
Oh, hush, Justin. Strawberry banana is fine.
Yes, doesn't. Well, who knows? But strawberry and banana. Yeah, I mean, I put them in on a pancake or something like that with ice cream. That sounds all right.
Yeah, get them like I could.
Not oatmeal,
I've had
protein
smoothies.
shake. Yeah, smoothies. Yeah. Very nice. All right, let's get into the what are we doing? This fan favorite segment of our show.
Yeah, fan favorite.
All right, what was our fan favorite question from last week, Michael?
What is your favorite episode of the 1950s Adventures of Superman TV series? And Stephen Marshall wrote in saying, I haven't seen many episodes of the Adventures of Superman outside of the first season, so my choices are limited. But I think I'd go with Pilot to get all 3 acts. Krypton, Smallville, and Metropolis into 30 minutes was incredible. My favorite part was to be on Krypton, where I believe they reused costumes from the Flash Gordon's show. Yes, they did reuse Flash Gordon costumes. And the script is pretty much the same as the radio and the serial as well. I have a soft spot for cheesy 50s science fiction. Sure, the episode could have done with a little more Superman, but there's always the other episodes for that.
Very cool. And I think it was Superman Comes to Earth. I think it might have been the name of the actual...
Superman on Earth.
Superman on Earth, that's right, was the title of the episode. Next up we have Kirby Lindell, who wrote, Now you're talking my language. This is my Superman. I love the Silver Age comics, and I love all the comics still, and I also have most of the movies and all the TV shows. I have to say that Season 1 of The Adventures of Superman was just brilliant. It was more like a film noir and more adult-centered before Kellogg's got involved. I have 2 episodes, actually I have 26 episodes, but the 2 episodes that I love the most are The Haunted Lighthouse, which really features Jimmy quite a bit, and you can see him here doing his very shocked, scared look, and A Very Spooky Aunt and Cousins. The Deserted Village, which features Lois going back to her hometown, including the great guest starring appearance by Lord Pickett, and I guess I have a third, The Mind Machine, which really scared me that Lois was going to get taken over. So thank you, Kirby. I'm glad that we found a question that was right up your alley.
Help me!
Yes. Fun episode.
I like that picture you chose because Jack Larson's eyes just about popped out of his head so much during that episode. Kenny Crowley Jr. wrote, my favorite episode of the Adventures of Superman TV series is Panic in the Sky. An amazing episode where we saw different sides of both Superman / Clark Kent in the episode, and George Reeves is a super amazing Superman for that era of the 1950s. Plus, the interactions with his supporting cast was amazing. The whole series is great, but this episode was so super good. Thanks, Steve and Michael, and keep up the super amazing work.
Thank you, Kenny. Really appreciate that. So yes, Panic in the Sky, really good episode. And finally, we have Ryan Ignatius Pratt, who wrote, I have not seen Adventures of Superman since I was a young child in the 1980s, and so unfortunately do not have a great memory of the series. Therefore, I'm unable to select the favourite episodes, but I do, however, vividly remember George Reeves' appearance on I Love Lucy, if that counts. Yes, it counts. And his classic punchline to Ricky at the end of the episode, and they call me Superman, when learning that Ricky has survived 15 years of marriage to Lucy. And that was a really fun, great episode. So thank you to Ryan. Very cool. So thank
I'm a
you.
little disappointed that no one chose the Evil 3.
Yes.
That's my absolute favorite. I love that episode. It is so. It's like David Lynch directs an episode of Superman.
Hmm. I remember Noelle Neal stating that The Wedding of Superman was her favourite episode, and she really got to star in that one. And she even speaks directly to the camera, I think, at the end of the episode. Yeah. So that's a really fun one if you're a Noelle Neal fan, and who isn't?
Absolutely.
All right, so thank you to everyone for replying to that fan favourite question. What is our new fan favourite question for this week, Michael?
What is your favorite Superman hoodie or sweatshirt?
Yeah, there's a lot of them out there. Mm-hmm. So let us know, show us even a photo. You can be wearing it, or you can just display it. info@supermanhomepage.com. That's the email address scrolling across the bottom of your screen right now. Send us your reply to this fan favourite question. What is your favourite hoodie or sweatshirt? Superman, of course. And we will feature it here when we return to this segment next week. All right, let's get into This Week in History. Here is your intro.
Come with me now, my son, as we break through the bars of your earthly confinement, traveling through time and space.
Alrighty, we're going back to 1942 for our first entry. We have Superman number 18, which has a very patriotic cover. Nothing like this happened in the comic itself because Superman did not really get involved with the war, but this did want you to start buying war savings bonds and stamps. I will not repeat the word that is on the bottom of that cover. Going to 1952, we got Superman number 78. Which is the Beast from Krypton. I like it. Superman really needs to look at this thing and go, look, no means no. It's just like, consent is everything.
Stop snotting all over me.
Yeah. 1962, we got Superboy number 99 with the Kryptonite Kid, who eventually becomes the Kryptonite Man. I also like that he's got his own dog. That's somebody that really thought through their motif. And Superman.
So what was his dog's name? Sunno?
Yeah,
or Eartho?
Like that. I'd have to look that up. We also had Superman's pal Jimmy Olsen, number 63, The League of Fantastic Supermen, where it looks like Jimmy is pulling out all of the various red kryptonite versions of Superman that have appeared over the years. That's a really cool cover. I like that. 1982, because nothing from the 70s this week. Superman number 376. That's Perry White flying on the cover, so that must mean he smoked one of his super cigars. If you don't know what the super cigars are, you really need to look that up. Plus, there is a preview of the daring new adventures of Supergirl. So, 1992, we have Action Comics number 680. This is continuing the Blaze Satanis War. In the very same week, Action Comics Annual number 4, which was part of the Eclipso, The Darkness Within, and contains a Superman Captain Marvel fight. And skipping 2002 completely, because we kind of did those last week, because Steve and I operate on different weeks. It's a cultural thing. It's nothing against any of us. But in 2012, we have Action Comics number 11, the shocking reason behind his new secret identity, and Smallville season 11 number 3 came out, continuing that series. Over in the real world, on July 3rd, unfortunately, Noelle Neal passed away in 2016. That was really sad.
Very sad.
I remember us talking about that. July 4th, Eva Marie Saint, who is Martha Kent in Superman Returns, was born in 1924. And on July 6th, John Byrne, the man that revamped Superman in the mid-'80s, was born in 1950, and that is This Week in History.
Thank you, Michael. Awesome. Yes, it was interesting that we mentioned Noelle Neal earlier, and sadly this was the week that we lost her a couple of years ago, and a couple of years shy of her 100th birthday.
Yeah, that's really, really sad.
It is. But life goes on, and she had a very good innings, as they say, and had a really good life. So we should all be so lucky to have led a blessed life like her and live so long and do so well. So she lives long in our memories.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we do have a caller, and we only have a couple of minutes, so we'll bring Mark in to our show. Welcome, Mark. How you doing?
Hey guys, how you doing?
Doing well, thank you very much. Just wanted to bring you in quickly to discuss this week's comic books because there are quite a few out this week. So let's have a look through them. And we have Dark Crisis #2, which is out this week, and this is available in a slew of different variant covers, which I am scrolling through right now. And there's also a, I think it's a silver embossed cover of the standard cover out. There's also DC vs. Vampires #7 of 12, and that is available in a couple of variant covers as well. Then we've got Flashpoint Beyond #3, Against the Kryptonian Might of Subject 1, and that's also available in a couple of variant covers right there. And there's Multiversity Teen Justice #2, and I think you've reviewed this one for us, didn't you, Mark?
Yes, I did.
So your review will be up on the website tomorrow. And then in the hardcover, there's Justice League Infinity, and then there's also the trade paperback of Ruby Justice League out this week as well. So quite a few comic books available this week. Dark Crisis being the big one of them, I guess.
I've read a little of the Dark Crisis. It's okay, you know.
Mm-hmm.
It is what it is, you know. Trying to do another Crisis, I don't see the point. I mean, I don't know. I don't see the point.
Yeah, fair enough. And Warner Brothers also announced, Warner Brothers Discovery is taking flight at San Diego Comic-Con, and they're once again bringing out the official tote bag, which is available in 2 different Jim Lee designs. The right one looking like it's got the Supergirl from The Flash there front and center, and also Superman and Lois look like they're there on the left-hand side of that right-hand bag as well. So a lot of panels and different things coming out for San Diego Comic-Con this year. Sadly, no Superman and Lois panel, but I imagine that we'll hear a bit more about The Flash, a bit more about Super Sons and other things coming out from San Diego Comic-Con.
Yeah, I almost forgot that it was that it was coming up, but yeah, we'll see what we get out of that.
July 21st to July 24th if you're interested and in the San Diego area. So that's really cool. And that pretty much, sadly, Mark, brings us to the end of the episode. Was there anything you wanted to touch on before we let you go?
No, not really. Just that I loved the finale of Superman and Lois. You know, I too, you saw I had some crazy questions in there, but really, no, I really enjoyed it, and it was a great finale. So looking forward to it's going to be another, I don't know, 8 months.
Yes, exactly.
Or something until we get it, but looking forward to it.
Well, appreciate you calling in, Mark. Obviously, it was a bumper episode. We didn't have a lot of time to take calls, but okay. We appreciate you coming on.
I'll call next week.
Yes, sounds good. We'll talk to you then.
All right, guys.
Take care.
Take care.
Bye, Mark.
All right, bye.
So that was Mark Lax. Appreciate him calling in, even only for a brief minute. And also, don't forget the Super Trivia Quiz has been updated on the Superman homepage website. 3 questions we're asking you are all question-related answers. If you want to have a look, you'll know what I mean. But that's the end of tonight's episode. I want to thank everyone for tuning in and watching us live, especially on your July 4th holiday. So appreciate you being part of the show tonight. And thank you to you, my co-host, Mr. Michael Bailey. Thank you, Mike.
Pleasure as always, Steve.
And thank you to our sponsors and patrons, Douglas Meacham, John Patrick Van Pelt, and Tina Murray. And remember, if you missed part of the show, tune in late, want to check it out all over again, you'll be able to do so on supermanhomepage.com or our YouTube channel. Michael and I will be back next week on Monday, July 11th for another show of Superman Homepage Live, 7:30 p.m. Pacific Time. Hope you'll join us then. Until then, be sure to check out supermanhomepage.com for all your daily news updates on everything surrounding the Man of Steel. I'm Steve Yunus on behalf of myself and Michael Bailey. Thanks for watching Superman Homepage Live, brought to you by supermanhomepage.com.